And we are welcome back in our episode of NBA 2K14. In the last episode, it was a tight game in San Antonio. It was the Spurs beat the Warriors in a close game by 111-107. And now we have a doubleheader for you. Heads to the first game on their hand off to Staples Center. It's gonna be a good Western Conference matchup between the Thunder and Clippers, and followed by a second game at their hand between the Knicks and the Hawks. Bye. So the second game at our hand, we're off to Staples Center, and actually the second game at our hand, we're off to Phillips Arena, features Carmelo Anthony of the New York Knicks take off Paul Millsap of the Atlanta Hawks. So the first game at our hand, we're off to Staples Center, features two of the good Western Conference duo. It features Russell Westbrook of the Oklahoma City Thunder take on Chris Paul of the Los Angeles Clippers, as the Thunder are the last place are what the standings. There are 2 and 4, and the Clippers are 3 and 5. Because no Kevin Durant is not here because his injury due to the sprained wrist, but the Clippers are 3 and 5. Hopefully, need to get help. So for this game, the Thunder are gonna use the blue and the Clippers gonna use the white. And this was in real life. This was the pay-per-view of the Western Conference semifinals. In real life, the pay-per-view between those two teams in real life is just gonna be good matchup. So no Kevin Durant is not here because still injury and is out for day to day. Hopefully, he will be re-healed till return. It's gonna be a good matchup. So that'll do it for now. This is Andre Kenshin. We'll be right back after this. Enjoy the video here at the Staples Center in LA. Anyways, we are sending over to Kevin Harlan here in LA, California. Let's get started. Enjoy!
Welcome to the NBA here on 2K Sports. Wednesday night in the NBA. It's going to be the Oklahoma City Thunder up against the Los Angeles Clippers. And that's a wrap for me here in the studio. Now let's send you out to Kevin Harlan, Steve Kerr, Clark Kellogg, and Doris Burke. I'll see you again at halftime.
And we see a while ago the Clippers prepared for the task at hand. It's the home of the Clippers here in Los Angeles as 2K Sports presents our action live from the Staples Center. The excitement of the NBA is on the way. I'm Kevin Harlan, joined by Doris Burke courtside. Next to me, Clark Kellogg and Steve Kerr in the booth. The starting fives for our game. Here are tonight's starting lineups. And guys, what do you think we'll be seeing from Serge Ibaka in this one?
Well, he's a fearsome defensive presence in the paint, a shot-blocking machine, and the intensity, the effort that he brings night in and night out is such a huge asset for his team.
And something else he does that might not wind up in the stat sheet, but is still a big part of his game, his leadership defensively. Collectively, they're a much better team when he's on the floor.
Look at Oklahoma City. They've got to be hoping that the road will be a little kinder to them than the winless homestand they just concluded.
You know, checking out Oklahoma City, they've tried to get their season turned around, and nothing has clicked so far.
Isn't it funny, Clark? I mean, sometimes the chemistry just doesn't work for a team. And even though the talent looks like it's there to have a good team, it just doesn't work. And for this club, that's exactly what's happened.
Hey, we all know how hard it was for the Thunder going into last season to trade away their sixth-man star, James Harden, but it was something that had to be done. They really missed his playmaking ability, though, and I think they missed him in the locker room, too.
Now here's Paul. It's Crawford with the drive. Good, and Paul gets the assist. Crawford's got his second bucket tonight.
You know, his ability is matched only by his energy, guys. I mean, he's usually in the middle of everything for his team.
Lamb, good. And for the Thunder, a financial decision to trade away Harden. They've already tied up Steve Money in big contracts to Durant, to Westbrook, Ibaka, and Perkins.
And Kevin, I think a lot of people question why they didn't keep Harden and maybe move Ibaka or Perkins. I think Perkins would have been maybe the best option, but he's really looked at as their best post defender and a guy who brings leadership and toughness. So it was a very difficult decision, but there's no doubt this team missed James Harden.
And again, Oklahoma City with the triple.
And that's one of his strengths, knocking down those long-range jumpers.
The Los Angeles Clippers, they come into this one following a loss to the Minnesota Timberwolves.
And that result was no surprise, Clark, because they played very loose with the ball that night.
Yeah, they were carefree. Footloose and fancy-free with the ball doesn't get it done. And how often do we see it, Steve? The team that loses the turnover battle loses the game.
He feeds it to Crawford. Sefolosha with the steal. Here's Westbrook. Right through the D for the layup. Westbrook's got 5 points so far.
Red hot right out of the gates. 4 for 4 shooting.
And Thabo Sefolosha, guys, you know he's from Switzerland. Last season enjoyed the best shooting of his career. He set career best in field goal percentage and three-point percentage. 48% and 43% respectively.
Here's Westbrook. Following the basket by Chris Paul. Sefolosha's shot is good.
Pretty impressive. 5 straight makes to start this game.
Let's find out what Doris Burke has for us.
Kevin, Scott Brooks gave me a couple of minutes to catch up with him. He knows a big part of winning this game will come down to how well they can guard Blake Griffin. He said it all comes down to positioning and preventing him from getting inside, both on and off the ball. And guys, he's willing to concede some open jump shots to Griffin to do that. We'll see if Griffin can make him pay for it. Back to you.
And thank you, Doris. Ibaka. And again, it's Oklahoma City. And Clark, you mentioned Sefolosha. Known as a wing defender, but it's encouraging, Steve, to see him shooting so well.
Yeah, and he's become more aggressive offensively, too. He really is a three-point shooter, kind of a spot-up guy. But, you know, at times last year, we'd see him go down on the block and post up smaller guards. Well, one of the things that makes him special is his tendency to become red hot in just a matter of seconds. And you never know when it's coming. You know, all it takes is a shot or two, and he's rolling.
And another skill that sets him apart, his success rate on catch and shoot jumpers. It's not every player that has such a great feel for that particular type.
Timeout is called. First of the game for the Thunder. This their first look at this year's Los Angeles squad.
And I'll tell you what, of all the things they did well last season, maybe the most impressive was sweeping the season series against these guys.
Now here's Jackson. His last outing, he had 8 points.
Really high-quality shot there, just a little off with his release.
That miss right there will definitely leave him shaking his head.
Collison kicks to Reddick. Takes a 3. That falls. Great assist by Darren Collison. Both of these teams battling last year near the top of the conference.
I know it's a little bit of a shame it was so lopsided, but we'll see how things play out this year.
Incredible. Only took them a few seconds to answer the 3-ball with one of their own.
Let's keep this thing going, guys. I love seeing a three-point battle like this.
And there's the basket. Whistle blows and a chance for a three-point play. Going to the line for one.
Boy, big man with very soft hands and a nice touch around the hoop.
And a chance for just a second to check out the scoring breakdown for Oklahoma City.
Boy, the three-point shot has really been dropping for him early on.
And they're sharing the ball, too, which I love. They're piling up the assist. We're seeing great offensive movement.
And stolen by Fisher. Leads him in there. And it's blocked by Jordan. Now the Clippers moving it up. Odom's running. Dudley's shot is good.
You know, regardless of who starts the break, it seems like he's usually the one to finish it.
And that's because of how well he attacks the rim on the dead run.
Shot clock and game clock separated by less than 6 seconds. Back to Jackson. And it's out of bounds. The Thunder able to retain possession.
Willie Green.
17 seconds left in the first quarter of the game. Fisher, pocket 6. Sefolosha dishes to Fisher. Nailed from three-point land. Fisher's got his second bucket of the night. Guys back and forth this first half.
Well, 5 lead changes early on, guys, as we grapple back and forth.
Yeah, this could be a back-and-forth game all the way, guys, the way it's being played. This is fun to watch.
Both teams have it going here early and still close through the first quarter. Oklahoma City out in front, up by 2. The second quarter coming up right after this break, so don't go anywhere.
On tap this Saturday, November 16th, the Atlanta Hawks take on Carmelo Anthony and the New York Knicks, an Eastern Conference showdown. Big-time hoops coming your way.
Well, it's been a tight one so far as we get the second quarter going back here. And for the Thunder guys, what stands out to you so far?
How about the three-point shooting? The scoring has really come in bunches from long range.
Yeah, it seems like every time down the floor they're knocking down the triple.
We've got Malik Williams. DeAndre Jordan is out there with Odom. Then there's Willie Green. They're the group out there for the Clippers starting the second quarter.
Hey, I think we all knew that the Clippers were good last year, but we really took notice when they rattled off those 17 wins in a row in December. That was a franchise record, which had previously been 11, and that's when the league really took notice.
Stolen. Right side, Westbrook. To the inside. Here's Collison, and that comes off the assist by Russell Westbrook. Westbrook's got 6 assists now in the game. Well, it was the year of the win streak last season with Miami doing what they did and Denver getting hot as well. But you know, Steve, the Clippers had the first lengthy win streak and turned some heads earlier in the season.
Yeah, what was that, about 17 games in a row they won? And I thought that kind of established the Clippers in the West, put a little fear in the rest of the conference, and gave L.A. a swagger that I thought helped them get through the rest of the season.
And let's now go to the sideline. We'll catch up here with Doris Burke. Doris?
Hey guys, well the Clippers owe a lot of their success to how they bonded with team chemistry. Chris Paul said, quote, "It matters a lot when you really truly care about somebody. You'll dive on the floor for them. You'll run through that screen for them. You really genuinely care how they feel. It just means a little bit more." That was certainly evident in how they played last year as well as how they interacted. We'll see if they can keep that same fun going this year, guys.
Yeah, plenty of camaraderie in that locker. Thanks, Doris.
You know, the big knock on Blake Griffin through the beginning of his career is that he struggled with his free throw. He worked at it, and last season had the highest free throw percentage of his career. Well done by Blake. He's got to continue to improve that.
Pass to Bullock. All sorts of time. Again, Los Angeles. Oklahoma City leading by 4. In Westbrook, here we go. And count it. 2 points with a chance for one. Or at the free throw line. And for Blake Griffin, of course, draws fouls and bunches. Last season, around 67% from the free throw line.
A major improvement. He was closer to 50% the year before that. So, you know, he'd like to even get better than 67, but that's serviceable. That's to the point where you're going to make people pay if they foul you. So I like what Griffin has done as far as the improvement is concerned.
Jared Dudley's checked in for the Clippers. And Lamb kicks to Roberson. Out of bounds, the Clippers take possession. Let's take a moment to look at the 2K leaderboard and see last year's high-scoring teams. In third, the Thunder.
This was one of the better scoring teams last year. They had a lot of different offensive weapons to choose from, and they knew exactly how to use them most effectively.
Paul with the ball. Westbrook picks him up. Paul is doubled. He kicks it to Crawford. Nice passing here by Los Angeles. Out of bounds, Clippers ball as the Clippers keep possession.
Well, let's check out some numbers here for Blake Griffin. What a year he had last season. 13th in field goal percentage, 19th in scoring. And he was among the top 20 rebounders in the league as well. So this is a guy who had a lot of double-figure nights on the glass.
And like you said, Steve, I mean, his field goal percentage was extremely high. And that's a credit to him and his teammates. They got him the ball in good scoring positions, and he took care of the rest.
Westbrook kicks to Lamb. And that comes off the assist by Russell Westbrook. 9 points for Lamb.
They're getting a bunch of their points outside of the paint. 3 of their last 5 buckets are from three-point range.
But the defense isn't making
he certainly isn't the one to blame for them being in the hole. He's been on the money with his game.
And a new group in here for the Thunder. Serge Ibaka is checked in for Gomes. Cephalosha comes in for Roberson. Reggie Jackson's checked in for Jeremy Lamb. And Derek Fisher is subbed in for Russell Westbrook. Well, it was the Oklahoma City Thunder in their last game, a loss to the Wizards.
And Kevin, I kept waiting for them to get back into that game. It seemed like they were capable of it, but it just never happened.
Well, I didn't see it, Steve. I mean, you had much more faith in them than I did. I didn't think they were showing any signs of life. We were watching the same thing, but perceiving it different. You know, with the recent success of Oklahoma City, you forget that in Kevin Durant's first season, they started out going 3-29, and I tell you what, you talk about their success, it's due to the resilience and perseverance and leadership of Kevin Durant and the rest of those guys.
There's the pass to Cephalosha. And he makes it look easy, dunking it hard with one hand.
Maybe could have tried for a more memorable dunk than that.
And we know he's capable of those memorable dunks.
But, you know, they've got a nice lead. Don't take any chances. The simple one-hander is just fine.
Dudley's shot is good. Well, there is a culture of hard work, as Clark is talking about, and the perseverance for this Oklahoma City Thunder organization. Their star players, Steve, get a lot of credit, but it's the whole organization, don't you think?
No question. It's the culture that was set. Scott Brooks has continued to kind of establish that atmosphere in the locker room. And they have players who just want to work and want to get better. And when you have a large group of people all with that same approach, you're going to be very successful.
Barnes, a look from Griffin. And again, the Clippers good for two.
It took him a little while to get into the flow of this game, but now he's definitely found his stride and rhythm.
6-second difference between shot and game clock. Cephalosha kicks to Ibaka. Lays it up, and despite of the excellent defense at that, Ibaka's got 6 points. He lobs it up, and the slam by Blake Griffin.
Really hard to decide, guys, which was better. The pass, the catch, or the slam?
Clark, there's no wrong answer to that one, my friend. Sensational alley-oop all the way around.
Agreed.
All of the above.
There's Crawford with the three. And the release was before the buzzer, but it's off target. And we're through two here and a good one. Thunder lead by 5. And join us right back here after the break for the start of the second half.
And now, brought to you by Sprint. And a fun game going on out in Los Angeles. Thanks for joining us. Oklahoma City up on top against the Clippers. They've struggled a bit in the early going this season, but appear to be in good shape for the second half. For the first half, Russell Westbrook was fantastic. He's got 10 points and is also helping set the table. Who's ready to eat? On the Clippers side of things, they're managing to hang around. A dominating performance offensively. They're getting everything they want. Jamal Crawford leads the game in scoring. Always a threat to go off in any given game, and he hasn't disappointed. And a look at the games being played right now. Out at the Rose Garden, it's the Trailblazers in front against Phoenix. Third quarter, and they've built an 11-point edge. And another one also in progress. The Nuggets are at Pepsi Center, trailing to the Lakers. They're behind by 4 points in the third quarter. And here's a look at the other NBA action from around the league. Out at Energy Solutions Arena, the Jazz are in a close game against New Orleans. Second half of basketball going on in a tight one. And that'll be it for us here. Thanks so much for joining me. Now it's time to head back to Kevin Harlan, Steve Kerr, Clark Kellogg, and Doris Burke. We hope to see you around next time.
The Sprint Halftime Report, presented by Sprint.
A view here of the skyline over Los Angeles, California, as we welcome you back.
You know, one thing with Scott Brooks, guys, he's very consistent with his message. Listen in on those timeouts. It's all about getting stops. Defense, 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 and letting their offense come from that.
Taking a look at the Thunder. Locking at the 4 with Perkins at the pivot. Backcourt tandem, Westbrook and Jeremy Lamb. And it's Cephalosha in at the 3 slot. Gets it to go.
just putting on a passing display out there.
Well, just add another fantastic assist to the highlight reel for this guy.
And Clark, you mentioned Brooks' single-mindedness. He stayed pretty constant with his rotations, too.
And there's no doubt players appreciate knowing their role, but a lot of critics have been surprised that Brooks has stuck to his lineups. Some lineups that didn't seem to be all that effective. His usual starting lineup with Cephalosha. And Perkins on the floor hasn't been their best in terms of plus-minus, but Brooks very loyal to his starting group.
And keeping us updated from the sideline, let's swing it over to Doris Burke for an update. Hi, Doris.
Guys, when you talk about players who live and breathe the game, Chris Paul is right at the top of that list. He has an array of TVs at his house and watches just about every NBA game. Teammate Jamal Crawford says, quote, "He's such a student of the game. He sees everything, and his commitment to winning is unbelievable. And that's what drives Chris Paul to win it all." He said, quote, "I've got a beautiful family, great friends. I just want to win a championship. That's all I need." And he added, winning with the Clippers would be legendary. Guys, he's doing everything he can to make that a reality.
He certainly is. Thanks, Doris.
Well, you can see that desire on the court. He's so focused. That's 4 straight from the field, guys. Off to a quick start this third quarter.
Here are the top distributors from last season. These guys always seem to find the open man. Second, Chris Paul.
Now, very few guys pass the ball better than he did. Just great open court vision.
Los Angeles making a switch here. Redick is checked in.
Boy, you look at the Clippers, and they clearly are one of the most entertaining teams in the NBA. One of the outstanding team shows you'll see. They have fun, they're up and down. But they're a hard-working group, and a lot of that you have to attribute to their leader, Chris Paul.
A three from Barnes. And it's good. Assisting on the play was Jordan. Barnes has got 5.
It's obvious he's hurting. I mean, he's going to tough it out, though, and continue to contribute. You got to give him credit for that.
Cephalosha passes to Lamb. Oklahoma City moving it around. Oh, and there's the alley-oop. Out of bounds, the Clippers take possession. Well, Clark, as you were taking a look at the Clippers, they are a fun team, an amazing product so far with big names all around. But, Steve, they've got to work hand in hand to make sure they're always at their best and not take things for granted.
Well, I think it's still a team that's a work in progress. You've got a young front line and Griffin and DeAndre. Jordan, great point guard in Paul McGee. New additions have helped, and I think it'll be interesting to see if this team can gel during the playoffs.
Westbrook takes to Lamb. Dishes it to Thabit. Feeds it to Lamb. Pass to Westbrook. And again, Oklahoma City with the triple.
You can't leave him alone, especially from long range.
Clippers trail by 10. There's the double team with Westbrook. Now listen with it. Westbrook picks him up. He had a nice open look right there. Redick's got 6 points.
Well, once a shooter, always a shooter. J.J. Redick, one of the great marksmen of all time at Duke in the college game. And it's kept on rolling here in the NBA. He's got deep range on his 3. Can spot up and shoot from anywhere, and also put the ball on the floor a couple times and create a shot inside.
Great shot is right, and like you said, not only threes, but Steve, any shot where you give Redick a chance to set his feet and get a clear view of the hoop. His shot form is just too consistent for him to miss. He's one of those players who works on that just so diligently. You know he's going to find a degree of success every time. Now a timeout called by Oklahoma City.
You look over at how tough the West has been over the last decade or so, and you've never seen a team dominate that conference the way the Thunder did last year. They were on the roll.
Reggie Jackson's checked in for Oklahoma City. Fisher comes in for Russell Westbrook.
Textbook right there. Nice pass, great catch, beautiful finish.
Here's the lob to the hoop, and the slam by Blake Griffin.
Maybe that'll ignite. Impossible not to get pumped up after that. At least that would be the case.
Well, you can see the immediate reaction of the guys on the bench. They look at them. They are pumped up.
Yeah, they're deep. That's what those alley-oops do, though.
The record for the Thunder against the West, 39-13. Just numbers that you never really see for a team playing against what is always, Steve, a very tough Western Conference.
Well, just to give you an idea of how good the Thunder were in the West last year, I mean, you'd have to go all the way back to the 08-09 season to find another club that had more than 39 wins against the West. That was the 09 Lakers, of course, who went on to win it all.
It's taken away by Collison. And here we go. Fisher heading to the hoop. And finished off by Collison.
Textbook example there of how to use defense to create offense.
A beautiful transition play after the steal all the way to the basket.
Wasted no time going from defense to offense.
Well, it feels like they're starting to pick up the intensity as the game itself starts to get a little more tight and close.
That is some real serious dime dropping there. Exquisite assist. You know, Darren Collison, DC as he's known, is a guy that does everything you want from a point guard at a decent level, but really doesn't excel at anything in a great fashion. Sort of falls into the jack-of-all-trades category.
Into Jordan. That falls. Great assist by Darren Collison. 7 points for Jordan.
You can see that they're not as aggressive from the three-point line. They had far more attempts in the first half.
And the bucket counts. He's on his way. Way to the free throw line. Try to make it a three-point play. And Clark, you mentioned Collison not dominant in any one category. What area, Steve, do you think that Darren Collison can improve in?
Well, he can be a very good defender when he puts pressure on defenses. So he's got to focus on that end of the floor. And then offensively, he probably shoots a little bit more often than he should. You know, at that size, you want a guard who's going to get your team into an offense. Another good offensive possession for him. He's trying to shoulder the load here for his team.
Here's Cephalosha, rejected by Bullock. He's got a clear path. Rips down the breakaway.
Now that's finishing your work right there.
Powerful two-hand jam. You're right.
If he's got a few more of those in him, this lead will really start shrinking.
Jackson kicks to Cephalosha. Lays it in without an inch of room around him. Cephalosha's got 13.
He shot the ball exceptionally well as they've built this lead for themselves here.
Crawford against Fisher. Here's Bullock. And another three for the Clippers.
Things are really tightening up now, guys. Their offense has become unstoppable.
Not sure where it was before, but better late than never.
Pass to Cephalosha. Again, Oklahoma City.
Boy, I tell you what, he's having one of those days where if he takes it, he makes it.
And as we end the third quarter, a great game. Both teams playing well. It's the Thunder. They lead by 7. And time to step aside quickly, but we'll be back in no time with the start of the fourth quarter.
The NBA season blasts off. Kevin Love and the Minnesota Timberwolves go up against the Denver Nuggets this Friday. Don't miss it.
Well, welcome back as we get set to start the fourth. And a moment here to take a look at the scoring breakdown for the Thunder.
So far, they've turned in a fantastic performance from the three-point line. It's been a weapon all game.
And they're attacking the gaps in the defense with their quick, aggressive drives into the paint area.
Blake Griffin down low and DeAndre Jordan. J.J. Redick is out there with Crawford. And it's Odom in at the small forward position. So that's the lineup on the floor for the Clippers. There's the bucket. Good. Cephalosha's got the fourth quarter started here with a bucket for Oklahoma City. There's the double team with Lamb. And out of bounds as the Thunder gain possession. And here's the upcoming schedule for the Thunder. Their next game is at Oracle Arena, so a road game with the Warriors. And that game will be game 2 of 3 straight on the road. The Thunder leading by 9. Here's Westbrook. And he goes in for the dunk. Some serious agility coming out of the backcourt.
You know, that bucket might count for a little more than 2 points when he finishes with that kind of flurry.
Yeah, against a D that was already reeling a little bit. That was like a body blow.
For the Clippers, Barnes comes in for Blake Griffin. And it's Collison in for J.J. Redick.
Russell Westbrook suffering that torn meniscus in his right knee after the collision with the Rockets' Patrick Beverley in the first round of last year's playoffs really just derailed the Thunder's hopes for a championship.
And here's a quick look at how the Clippers' schedule is shaping up. Their next game, playing at home, is the Nets coming to town. And that'll be the third of the 4 straight at home. Blake Griffin, he's checked in for Lamar Odom. Here is Ibaka. Back to Westbrook until that knee injury. He never missed a game in his 5-year NBA career. Clark, the longest consecutive games streak in the NBA.
How about going back to college and high school? Didn't miss any games there either. Remarkably durable. So this is really his first experience with a major injury, Kevin. Knowing him, though, and his tenacity and his desire to be great, I think he's going to be able to respond just fine.
Crawford's shot is good. The Thunder leading by 13. Westbrook dishes to Perkins. And that comes off the assist by Russell Westbrook. Westbrook's got assist number 11 for him here tonight. Let's go quickly over to Doris Burke for an update.
During that break, Coach Rivers had some words for his team. He's not pleased with the careless turnovers offensively, saying, listen, we've got to get shots. It's as simple as that. We have to play smart and value the basketball. Kevin, did it sink in?
J.J. Redick checked in for Jamal Crawford. The Thunder have gone a perfect 4 of 4 to start the final quarter. Can't ask for anything more than that. And stolen by Barnes. Puts the lead pass in front of him. Collison, the pass to Barnes. Back to Collison. Again, Los Angeles.
Boy, the deeper we get into this game, the more offense we're seeing.
And that goes for both teams, Steve. Everybody firing on all cylinders right now.
Westbrook kicks to Lamb. Lays out. And stolen by Barnes. There's the triple. And again, Los Angeles with the triple. And an important part of every team's game, a look at the hustle stats for the Clippers.
Their high-energy defensive effort has paid off for them, guys, with more than a few steals over the course of the ballgame.
And the other thing they're doing is they're forcing turnovers and then converting those miscues into points at the other end.
There's the double team with Westbrook. Here's Jordan, and it's blocked by Ibaka. Westbrook against Collison. Got that one up quick. And now a 12-point Thunder lead.
Boy, that mid-range jumper is a beautiful thing to have in your bag, and they've had it going today.
Yeah, but look down at the other end of the court. The scene has not held true.
Redick with the bucket. Thunder have gotten absolutely red hot shooting the ball here in the fourth. A perfect 6 for 6. Rejected by Griffin. That's a 2 from Barnes. And the Clippers getting another bucket right there.
Fantastic pass. He turned that one into a pretty easy basket for his teammate.
The Thunder leading by 8. Here's Westbrook. Good. Westbrook's got 7 now in this quarter.
Boy, this defense is getting eaten up on the inside, guys, giving up far too many free runs to the rim.
And they haven't been able to return the favor. I mean, their offense in the paint has not been up to par.
And Oklahoma City making a change here. Fisher's checked in, and they double up Paul. Redick dishes to Griffin. And that'll be Oklahoma City's ball as it goes out of bounds. Oklahoma City has gone 2 for 2 from three-point land to start the fourth quarter. And it's blocked. And here we go. Fast break. Paul's got it. Drops in the tray off the fast break.
You know, the first thought from the defense there was to protect the rim, so that's why he was open for that transition 3.
over 3.5 minutes through the final quarter now. Rejected by Cephalosha. They retain possession.
You know, he's an effort player, Kevin, a guy who competes defensively, willing to take on the opponent's best player. He runs the floor, a little bit erratic at times, but very scrappy, and you know what he's going to bring in terms of energy.
Yeah, he plays with an aggressive mentality. Does a great job on the boards. That's good, going 1 of 2 from the line, and that trims the lead to 6.
Not nearly as productive a trip to the line as he would like. They need all their free throws to go down at this point. You know, with that much of a height advantage, that's exactly what you should do. Take it straight to the rim.
Cephalosha with it. Chris Paul covering. Fisher can't hit. LA's gotten off to a great start from three-point range in the final quarter. They're a perfect 3 of 3. Here's Ibaka. Drops in the breakaway layup. And the Thunder lead by 6.
Great job capitalizing on that steal and getting the easy points in transition.
Exactly how it should be done after a turnover.
Elliott with the bucket.
Well, it's been a tale of 2 halves, hasn't it, guys? After a terrible first half, he's really picking it up.
Griffin with the steal. On the corner. Yes! And he has brought them to within 2 points.
Ooh, a pressure basket right there.
Now that's coming through in the clutch.
And Paul over to help. Westbrook kicks to Fisher. It's money from deep.
A wide open 3. They need much better communication defensively.
6 seconds separating the shot and game clocks.
Well, as long as the Kings keep dropping for him, he'll continue firing away.
And they are dropping for him. What a game he's having from me.
And they commit an intentional foul. We'll see another one of those so they can get into the penalty.
Now, you can't let them pound the ball and just milk those precious seconds away.
No other option here but to foul and hope for a few misses at the line.
Jamal Crawford, he's checked in for the Clippers. Here comes Russell Westbrook. Time call here. The Thunder decide to talk it over. And Oklahoma City making a change here. And so here is Oklahoma City. And here's Fisher. Got it up in time. Oh, he knocks it in. Beautiful buzzer beater.
Time. Nothing but zeros on the clock as he drains the winner. What a finish.
And he never had a doubt. He was celebrating the moment it left his hand.
So a close game sees Oklahoma City taking this one. Well, they don't get much more exciting than that, Clark.
They sure don't. And when it was gut check time, this team kept their composure, kept their emotions in check, and got it done.
Thanks for tuning in to the NBA on 2K Sports. For Clark Kellogg, Steve Kerr, and Doris Burke, this is Kevin Harlan. We'll see you next time. And now, our Jordan player of the game, Russell Westbrook.
Wow, unbelievable game here at Staples Center. This was the second buzzer beater of the night. As the Thunder beat the Clippers 105 to 102 as Derek Fisher hit the knocks down to 3 to stun the Clippers as they check out the box score. Jamar Crawford got 18 points, Matt Barnes got 17, Griffin got 16, and the other hand, Russell Westbrook got 27, Cephalusha got 23, and Derek Fisher got 20. What a huge end for the Thunder as Derek Fisher saves the day to stun. It was former LA City. Unbelievable, the Thunder miracle knocks down the 3, and a heartbreaking loss for the Los Angeles Clippers, and they're down to the wire and they re-improved 3-4. And then now the Thunder have a face against the Warriors. Will be playing on the first game next Tuesday, and then Wednesday we got a mega matchup between Dwight Howard and Carmelo Anthony. Will be Wednesday afternoon. And then we're gonna be flex game on ESPN Friday. Will be replaced the Pistons and the Kings. They will be replaced by the Grizzlies and the Lakers. That was interesting. And now, good ending for the Thunder as they final seconds as the Thunder beat the Clippers, hit the game-winning shot by Derek Fisher. And now, we're gonna save the fouls, and that's it. Boom! And that'll do it for now. This is Andre Kenshin as the first game wraps up as the Derek Fisher knocks down the 3 at the buzzer as the Thunder stun the Clippers in the ending the fraction. And coming up next, second game of the night heads to Atlanta, Georgia and Phillips Arena. Second game of the day features the Phillips Arena and Atlanta features Carmelo Anthony of the New York Knicks take on Paul Millsap of the Atlanta Hawks, the two of the forward matchup. And well, that'll do it for now. This is Andre Kenshin as the Thunder defeat the Clippers in the final seconds. Derek Fisher hits the game-winning shot, and it will be uploaded for the short of the night as of his buzzer beater. So once again, this is Andre Kenshin saying so long for Staples Center in LA, and we'll see you later on tonight here at Phillips Arena. It's the Knicks and the Hawks. Sign up and peace out. Good night, and reminder, we will see you later for the New York Knicks and the Atlanta Hawks game. Sign up and peace out. Goodbye.